Oh, all right, we're gonna get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Sorry to interrupt all these beautiful conversations, but we're gonna kick things off here. We have an exciting speaker tonight, and also a full house, which is great. So, for those of you who have not met yet, my name is Troy. We've got a few others here in the house with me. I'm going to introduce Andrea in a second. But welcome to the either Arizona or Phoenix Psychedelic Society event. Whichever boat you came in, you got here. That's great. We're glad you're here. And tonight, Miss Andrea Twitchell is going to be presenting. She's got some exciting new stuff she's been working on. And I'm excited to hear about it, and apparently a lot of other people are too, because we have a very cool house tonight, which is fantastic. So without further ado, we'll let her introduce herself a little bit more, tell a little about herself, and then what she's going to speak about tonight. Please help me welcome Andrea.
Thank you. If you know me and you know a bit of my work, I usually like to have an opening and a closing, and I think it's very important as I always step into an intentional setting that this is ceremony. We're stepping into ceremony. Every moment is sacred, and this hour and a half is going to be sacred here at Meraki Kava. So if everyone will just take a moment to just recognize where you're at right now, find your place in space, feel your feet below you, underneath you, feel Mother Earth ground you, settle into your seats, take a nice deep breath in, connect with spirit, let go, release, drop down, connect to your body, connect to your heart. Another nice deep breath in, connecting to yourself, connecting to spirit. I just want to thank the great creator, Mother Earth and Father Sky for bringing us all here together tonight. And I want to call in all my holy and healed ancestors to hold space with me this evening. I'm humbly grateful to have the privilege and the honor to share my story and my journey. And I ask that my holy ancestors, all my loved ones, my spirit angel, my spirit animals, my spirit guides, all the light beings that guide me and protect me, please hold this space for me tonight and help me to come through with clarity, peace of mind, to be strong in my voice, and to also speak from my heart. And I say this with so much gratitude and so much abundance and awareness for the blessings that I have. Aho. So last week it was just kind of last minute that I was asked to offer a talk. And as you know, the group that I work with here, Arizona Psychedelic Society and Phoenix Psychedelic Society, we've had this ongoing Monday night talk series. And we're getting ready to wrap it up. And we had another woman who was supposed to present for us this evening, but something came up and she wasn't able to make it tonight. So last Monday, as Troy and I usually do, just kind of check in before every kind of event and just dial in for a second. And he let me know, of course, we needed to fill this spot for tonight. And I've been sharing with him real briefly that I've been working on a few projects, and not me, there's been a group of people supporting me in what I've been working on. And he asked if I would be willing to talk and share about some of the things that I've been healing and growing and learning and stepping into. And I said yes, I would be honored and grateful to share where I'm at with my work. As some of you know, I recognize a lot of faces, and I'm so grateful for those of you who are here to be in support of me, and for a lot of newer faces that I have just met more recently. I'm so grateful for the new relations that are showing up in my life, and a lot of the new faces that I don't know, and I'm grateful that you're here tonight to give me a chance to hear my story. And as I was sharing with my sisters earlier, the prayer that I had for myself tonight is to be a good storyteller. So please bear with me as I practice a gift that is not so natural to me. But it is, I believe, one of the ways as that us indigenous people have transmitted knowledge and wisdom for generations and generations, for thousands and thousands of years. And I'm privileged in this life to be so close to my ancestry, to know that I am a Diné woman, and to know my clans, that I'm Twitchell, I'm Bitterwater, and it's my calling to be a teacher in this life. Thank you all for showing up, allowing me to step into my calling and my purpose to teach. And teaching is also healing. When we teach, we learn, we grow, and my work is to create insight and awareness so that all of us can grow mentally, emotionally, and physically. But we can't do that until we actually tap into spirit. And that's what my goal and my purpose is, to connect all these different levels of awarenesses that have been fractured and split into more of a wholeness, and remembering who we are, remembering that we are divine beings, and that we're already whole, we're already healed. We just have to remember who we are. So thank you. I want to start off tonight with a prophecy that actually was sent to me the next day after I agreed to do this talk. And this is a reported birth of a rare white buffalo calf in Yellowstone Park. This fulfills the Lakota prophecy here in Helena, Montana. The reported birth of a rare white buffalo in Yellowstone National Park fulfills a Lakota prophecy, and this was June 4th, just a week and a half ago, according to the members of the American Indian tribe, who cautioned that it's also a signal that more must be done to protect the earth and its animals. End quote. The birth of this calf is both a blessing and a warning. We must do more, said Chief Avol Looking Horse, the spiritual leader of the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota Ayate in South Dakota, and the 19th keeper of the sacred white buffalo calf woman pipe and bundle. This guy has a very high spiritual position, especially carrying that white buffalo calf woman pipe and that bundle. It's the most sacred items according to this indigenous group of people. The birth of the sacred calf comes as after a severe winter in 2023 drove thousands of Yellowstone buffalo, also known as bison, to lower elevations. More than 1,500 were killed, sent to slaughter, or transferred to tribes seeking to reclaim stewardship over an animal the ancestors lived alongside for millennia. For the Lakota, the birth of a white buffalo calf with a black nose, eyes, and hooves is akin to the second coming of Jesus Christ, Looking Horse said. Lakota legend says about 2,000 years ago, when nothing was good, food was running out, and bison were disappearing, white buffalo calf woman appeared, presenting a bowl, pipe, and a bundle to a tribe member, which is where this particular spiritual leader is holding, is that particular bundle. Taught them how to pray, and said that the pipe could be used to bring buffalo to the area for food. As she left, she turned into a white buffalo calf. And someday, when the times are hard again, Looking Horse said in relating the legend, I shall return and stand upon the earth as a white buffalo calf, black nose, black eyes, black hooves. I think a lot of us probably come into awarenesses of, end of days. We have a lot of this like in the Bible of, the second coming. I think some of these versions come up in a lot of indigenous, even creation stories. We can find similarities around even the flood and how we came to be in this world. And then we get things such as prophecies, right? Where people who are potentially highest connected to the higher realms, the spiritual realms, but are bridging those higher realms in this lower dimensional realm, which some would call three-dimensional. Navajo, we call this the fourth world, the glittering world. But what we're talking about is different vibrations, different frequencies that we're all, I don't know, maybe emanating at or resonating at. And some of us are vibrating at a lower frequency, and some of us are vibrating at a higher frequency. And the higher we can get our frequency, the closer we can hear and see what may or may not be a truth. And a prophecy is that. You know, prophecies can change, but they're just a warning, you know, and I think we know this as a lot of us have had some type of contact, especially in a religious context, of what a prophecy or a prophet may show itself as. Who here is actually familiar with the eagle and the condor prophecy? Couple people? Eagle and the condor prophecy? I feel like it's one of the prophecies that's become very popular, especially with the plant medicine movement, particularly with even ayahuasca. And looking into this prophecy myself, what I recognize is that it's more of a South American tradition. I've seen this property come in through maybe the Mayan philosophy of the eagle and the condor coming together. So this is the South American indigenous traditions integrating and working and honestly waking up the North American indigenous peoples, because from my perspective as a cultural anthropologist, the colonization of the North Americans happened pretty quickly, whereas the colonization from South and Central America with the Spaniards happened a little bit more slower in titration as they moved through Central and South America and eventually up here through the Southwest, which the Southwest was actually colonized before the East Coast, if not only maybe by a matter of a couple years. But if you look into the history, the Southwest has the oldest colonized history of the United States. So with that being said too, what we're talking about is even the migration patterns and routes of thousands of years of indigenous wisdom, cultures, and medicines that's been going up and down South, Central, and North America. If you ever take a look at satellite imagery, I was taking an anthropology class and we were specifically focusing around the Anasazi Pueblos. And when we took aerial views and of those particular central cities, say like Mesa Verde, Canyon de Chelly, places like that where there were high concentrations of Anasazis living, you can see there is really deep trails that will take migration trails all the way from these sites here in the Southwest, all the way down to Central and South America. And you can still see these routes from satellite view all the way up through Canada. So there's some really huge trade routes that were of course already happening thousands and thousands of years ago, where we were transmitting a lot of knowledge through trades. Like even anthropologists are finding very rare minerals up north in, say, Mesa Verde, things like obsidian and what else is the other one that I like? Jade. You can only find those down in South and Central America, but you're also finding very exotic bird feathers. And this is in Anasazi ruins that are over like 2,500 years old. So when we're talking about some of these prophecies that are coming into fruition or being talked about today, especially the Hopi. Hopi are one of the oldest tribes in this region. Even the Navajo, according to anthropological records, are new to this region 800-900 years ago, where the Hopi, from my understanding, are actually more deeply connected to the Aztecs and the lineage of the Toltecs coming from the south up north. So that's kind of where the eagle and the condor prophecy comes in, is that my perspective, it's the South American indigenous people that are helping the North American indigenous people to wake up and reconnect to our ancient ways, our medicines, our songs, and not that they're not already, they're here, but we've forgotten about them. And this is part of me also as an indigenous woman, Navajo, reconnecting with also my lineage and going far enough back where I have also connected through, with thanks to plant medicine, my ancestry, who's also Mayan and Olmec, and going far back even through the Polynesian islands as part of one of the migration routes. So the eagle and the condor is about bringing these two medicines together, the north, the south, and with that medicine and the reawakening of these indigenous practices and philosophies to help really wake up mankind. That's the philosophy and the hope and the prayer of the eagle and the condor prophecy, is to help wake everybody up. And we're seeing that with especially medicines like ayahuasca, wachuma, hape. Those are all medicines that have been coming from the south that are here, and that most of us, I feel like, if you're working with plant medicines, are working with these medicines already. Now the last, why we're really all here, is for me to talk about the other prophecy, and this is specifically a Hopi prophecy. This prophecy is speaking to one of the creation stories, and there are several creation stories in the Hopi cosmology. I don't really like to use the word mythology because I think that's not true either. I think that's a way to minimize spirit, separating spirit from all, when really everything is spirit, and trying to reconnect with really what that means, that everything is spirit. Even the table, even the chairs, even your glasses, it's all spirit. There's nothing that's possible without spirit. Well, this particular Hopi prophecy was gifted to me when I was around 13, 14 years old. In honoring the other half of my ancestry, my dad, who's Anglo-American, of Jewish descent, my paternal grandmother's Jewish, and my paternal grandfather is a Latter-day Saint, who is a large part of my ancestry, and a large part of even my own healing work in being biracial, half Native and half Anglo. And I've carried a lot of shame in my life being Native, being white, and then being both, not ever feeling like I fit in or that I'm ever enough. But also coming to understand that the challenge of also being the perpetrator and the victim, how to reconcile these cultures, these lifeways. And that's part of the mission of my work in this embodiment, in this life, to be blessed and to be privileged to have access to such an ancient culture and lifeway of wisdom, and to have the modernity of mind, of knowledge, of invention, technology. Like, wow, what a time to live in. Like, my ancestors would be so proud, they would be so enamored by how we live nowadays. And I walk every day in gratitude, knowing that I am my ancestors' prayer. I am the walking embodiment. I am the sacrifice that my ancestors have given for me to have electricity, fresh, clean, running water, to have a vehicle that can drive me hundreds and hundreds of miles, that I don't have to walk, I don't have to run, I don't have to get a horse. So much privilege and so much blessings and abundance. But when I was about 13, 14, it was already in my awareness growing up as a Native woman, going to sacred ceremony. But what was in my awareness as an Anglo young girl was actually being a dreamer. And it was my Jewish grandmother, when we would visit during the summers, she would talk to me and my brother about our dreams. What did you dream about? Tell me, give me the details, and can you control your dreams, right? And I don't know, I'm only like 5 or 6 years old. I'm like, wow, just like, wow, we're talking about dreams. And it's even just through my Jewish ancestry that spirit has showed me that I'm a dreamer. And I've been working hard in understanding what that means in my work, what it means to dream. But this one particular dream, when I was about 14 years old, I remember it so vividly and so powerfully. I honestly, what I even remember most was the next day telling my mom about the dream. It wasn't even so much the dream that left an impression, it was the moment that I remember telling my mom about the dream. It just almost like it anchored it in when I shared it with her. And since then, I've had really amazing, powerful dreams. Back in like around 2008, 2010, I was having a lot of apocalyptic dreams. Pretty scary. I wouldn't wish anybody to go through what I experienced in those dreams. But I never really took any of it too seriously, right? Oh, it's a dream state, I'm working my unconscious, I don't, I'm in this three-dimensional world of like, it's something other than me. Now, not until I started working with plant medicine, specifically over the years, past 4 years, mushrooms, and ayahuasca particularly, that things have really sped up and have really unfolded in very powerful and meaningful ways. Where last summer, don't laugh, but Spirit works through YouTube. And Spirit also works through music for me. I don't know what it is. I can put on a random playlist and it's just what I need to hear, and it helps me move through a lot of memories, dreams, experiences, and I'm beautifully grateful to be able to know how to move energy by using my emotions to transmute energy. Music is one of those ways that really helps me to do that, and Spirit is so beautiful as it moves through music. But during this time, I was watching a lot of YouTube channels, just looking for stuff in particular, and I came across the Hopi Prophecy. And I'll try to explain it the best I can, because when you're in a dream state or in an altered state of consciousness, it's a little hard to describe. But as I was laying there, kind of actually doing body work and listening to the TV, and so I put on this one particular Hopi Prophecy that I started actually doing I was working on my mentorship with Wachuma at the time, so a lot of grandfather wisdom was coming through. And it just so happens this Hopi Prophecy just pops right up, I'm like not even searching for it or anything, but I was like, oh, yep, perfect, grandfather medicine, I clearly need to hear this. And as soon as I put on the YouTube of this elder talking about the prophecy, I dropped right into my dream state. I was sitting at the base of a sheet of like this rock, like a side of a mountain. It was like a sheet of rock, and I was this young girl sitting there cross-legged, and my elder, my grandfather, my uncle, at the time that's what it felt like to me. I was like, it felt like my uncle or my grandfather when I was describing him to my mother. He was sitting there, Mom, he was telling me something on the side of that rock, he was showing me something. It was like a movie projector, I told her. He was showing me something on the movie, and he was trying to tell me what he was talking about. And at the time when I was explaining it, I didn't know what he was saying. I don't even really remember the imagery that was, it was like a projector screen on the side of that big side of the sheet of rock of a mountain there. And so when the YouTube channel came on, and there's my Hopi ancestor standing on the side of that rock, showing the pictographs, the pictographs of that Hopi prophecy, that whole dream just unfolded right in front of me. Right in that moment, I knew exactly what my calling was, or I know what my calling is. And I know now why I've had the journey that I've had in this life, a very unconventional life, choices that I made, a lot of expectations. I come from a very well-educated family. Of course, expectations of me going to college right out of school, or, and I didn't. I ended up being a single mother in a very abusive relationship for 20 years, and found myself abusing myself for 20 years. And it wasn't until higher level education and beating my head against the wall that I turned to plant medicine. And it's the plant medicine that has helped me reawaken to my calling and my purpose. And it's particularly this Hopi prophecy. And this Hopi prophecy is, like I said, one of the creation stories of the white brother and the brown brother. And what happened is the white brother, who was older, was actually sent off to go and acquire knowledge, to go and learn things of the world, to become an inventor, a creator, yes, to go out there and be like of the world and to learn that type of knowledge, where the younger brown brother stayed home, stayed here local to Mother Earth, to tend to Mother Earth and continue to hold on to the wisdom and the teachings of Mother Earth, to be the steward of Mother Earth, while the older white brother went off to gain the technical knowledge and the wisdom. Now the white brother has done that, and the brown brother has stayed here and tended to Mother Earth. And but now that the white brother has come home, unfortunately he's come home out of balance. He forgot his indigenous ways. He forgot his prayers, and he forgot his songs. And I'm so sorry. So sorry for that disconnection. The white brother forgot his heart. He forgot that it belongs to Mother Earth. And he forgot that he is of Mother Earth. And now he's come home. But he's come home and he's made us out of balance. And it's the brown brothers, we're here to help bring that balance and that equilibrium back. The brown brother is here in the heart. And that's my role, is to bridge the heart and the mind. And I know that's what we're all striving to do. I know that's why you're all here tonight. You are aware of that disconnection, the disconnection of the mind and the spirit, the body, the heart. We are all operating from a hyper-analytical place, the white brother's mind. It's taken us way out of balance, and we forgot to operate from this place. We're abusing Mother Earth, we're abusing Father Sky, and ultimately we're abusing ourselves because we are Mother Earth and Father Sky. And that's what the Hopi prophecy is saying. If we don't come back into balance, back into harmony, back into Hajon, we are all going to be very sick, and we are not going to be here for our children's children. Now the prophecy, I will link it up to one of my my Facebook page or my Instagram page, but I'll put up the prophecy, that YouTube prophecy, so you can watch it, because he gets really explanatory in the split between these two roads. There's two paths, and that's where we're all on. We're all have a choice on which path we're gonna have. And I met a lovely prophet actually down by Salt River. I was stepping into a Wachuma ceremony, me and my partner, and this young guardian angel, Daniel, he was spitting some words of wisdom. Words that, you could walk up to somebody and be like, is this guy, he a little cray-cray? Right, he a little cray-cray, he's out here in the woods all by himself. Like, I don't know, Daniel. But everything he was saying was true. That there's a choice that's gonna have to be made. And he was talking about the river. Are you gonna be on this side of the river? Are you gonna choose to be the other side of the river? Which side of the river are you gonna choose when that time comes? And you're getting a warning. All these prophecies are just warnings. Can we start living in the right way, in right relations? Right relation to ourselves, right relations to our food, our water, and not take these things for granted, and recognize the privilege and the abundance that we live in. And start living from a place of more simplicity, instead of this consumerism of take. That's the imbalance. That's the hungry ghost, according to Gabriel Mate, right? It is insatiable hunger, and that's where we're at. This need to take all of Mother Earth's resources and then leave our children with what? Our grandchildren with what? A dirty ocean, no fresh, clean water. Our skies are polluted. How are we ever gonna have the sun come through and grow our plants? That's where all our nutrition comes from. This is where all our wisdom resides, is right here in our body. And that's what the medicine wants us to connect to, is the wisdom that we already carry here within our own DNA. And medicine, meditation, yoga, sweats, cold dips, all of these are different ways that we can access our higher selves. We can access spirit. We can access God. Whatever it is that you know is outside of yourself that's really running the show, because we're not. We're not. We're trying to run the show and we're really running it into the ground. That's where we're out of the balance, right? We're trying to run things. We're trying to control things that if we just let Mother Earth, Mother Nature take its course, it's already in flow, it's already in abundance, it's already regenerative if we can allow it to be. The word came up today with my sister, stewardship, right? That's what we were all designed to do as indigenous people, and we're all indigenous from somewhere. We are all indigenous. And we are only here to be the stewards, so we only have this little bit of time right here, right now, in this glittering world, this beautiful, beautiful world that we take for granted, that we get into robot mode. So with that awareness and now that knowing of like, holy moly, this is way huge, this is way big. I'm only doing like a little ceremony here at a time, a little ceremony here at a time, and it can be really painful and really uncomfortable. And I've had a young woman step into my life who's been assisting me with kind of the admin part of my work, and I've been asking Spirit this past year, actually, since this has been coming forward, like, this is big work, Spirit. I need a team. I need a team. I know you know I can't do this alone. And there's no way I want to do this alone, and I don't want to do this alone. Everybody has their own gifts, and everybody has their own medicine. So please, Spirit, I'm calling in my team. And slowly and surely this past year, you know, bits and pieces, I'm seeing my team. And I'm even seeing the team that I already had that I was totally taking for granted too. I'm like, damn, girl, wake up. So this young woman, that's what we were chatting about, was what it means to step forward into a medicine role, and that the healing as a medicine carrier isn't just my own healing. It's also the healing for my brothers and sisters, the healing for my ancestors, the healing for the generations to come, the healing for Mother Earth. There's so many layers to being a medicine carrier that I'm not just stepping into ceremony to just heal myself. I'm stepping into ceremony to help heal Mother Earth and all of humanity. That is my goal, that is my purpose. As small and as individual and one-on-one as maybe as it has been, the calling is to do it at more of a macro level. And as Spirit has been pulling my team in, I've also been working with another wonderful woman who was called in by one of my ancestors, even through the LDS lineage. And this is where I've had to do my own healing around also what it means to be a white medicine woman. What is that, right? It almost seems like a contradiction in my own internal world. And I think, well, why not? You know, why not? Yes, so with this team coming together and with the new awareness of this mission, I'm calling in to start cultivating a spiritual community. And in the eyes of the federal government, it will be a church, but that's only to just ensure just a level of safety personally and collectively is the intention to move forward in making it more of a church entity, but really solely with the intention of really this is just about building a spiritual community where we are all working together to help save humanity, to save our peace of mind, to give our children and our great-grandchildren a place of peace and a place to reside, because at the rate we're going, there's not going to be much to reside in and of, especially even when we're talking about mental health. And mental health is really what is also greatly impacting our physical health in this Western culture. So bringing the mind, body, and spirit is part of that work, and integrating that really, what we're really trying to heal here is spiritual wounding. And the more we can get in touch with where these really deep wounds come from, a lot of it requires doing the real deep work with plant medicine and getting to know yourselves, getting to know your own ancestry, because that's where the debris lies, is in the ancestral roots. So the more we can clear out the debris of our ancestral roots collectively and individually, that's my goal and purpose. So anytime you work with me, we're working with our ancestors. My ancestors and your ancestors, holding hands together, working collectively in bringing balance back to this beautiful place we call Earth. So that's the inspiration for the next part of my movement, is really to cultivate this community. I want to start with just like-minded individuals in more kind of like an egalitarian style. I want everybody to feel like they have a say. I want everyone to invest in themselves, invest in the community. I plan on organizing it into clans. And I was talking with my brother Ron here earlier, and recognizing the importance of clans. And to us indigenous communities, it's really how we operate. It's how we know who we are through our clans. And that's why I introduce myself and I tell you I'm Totochini, because if you were also Navajo and you knew who your clans were, that would tell you right away who my people are, where I come from, what my roles and responsibilities are to you in the group. And then from then you know what your clan is in relationship to mine, and now you know what your role in relationship, your responsibilities are to me. And it's unfortunate because that's where I feel like the white brother has lost the part of himself, are his clans. He forgot where he came from, so he forgot what his roles and responsibilities are to his brothers and sisters. And that's what we're here to remember and remind ourselves of. So everyone will be in a clan, and they are organized into actual animals. So a couple examples would be a bear clan, an eagle clan, coyote clan, and all of them come with different roles and responsibilities, and some of them come with initiation, depending on which clan it is, what it is that you're working on personally or professionally to develop, what you plan on contributing to the community, and sharing what your gifts are. So that is my goal, that is my hope, is to bring a collective body together in the fashion of honoring this Hopi prophecy, and hopefully making the larger shifts that we really need to make to get us back on track before it's too late. And some would say that it's too late, but we'll keep our hope and our prayers that we can still do it. And I can tell we are, because look how full this room is, that there is a lot of hope, there's a lot of strength, and there's a lot of prayer. And for each one of you to go home and to keep sharing the message and to keep sharing the medicine, that's how we keep spreading the light, that's how we keep spreading the love, that's how we keep spreading the healing. So as daunting as it may be, even for me to be like one person at a time, it doesn't matter, because everybody counts. Every individual makes a difference, because they take home some type of wisdom to share with a loved one, to share with a friend. So yes, that's the mission. The mission is to bridge the heart and the mind, is to help people to reawaken to their hearts and to start operating from that heart place, and connecting what's up here, down in here, and not over-analyzing what we think we should and shouldn't be doing, and just feeling what feels good, what brings joy to me, what brings me peace. And that's even when we're checking other people's energy, like, man, that person does not bring me peace, or that environment does not bring me peace. Okay, what kind of shifts do I need to start making to cultivate more peace? So that's my hope for my brothers and sisters, is to start bringing balance back into the community. The short-term vision is for something urban. As I name this church this week and finalize it on paper with my lawyer, as some of you know, Ty's my guy. He's our guy. So if you need any referrals, he's our man, let me know. And so once I finalize that this week, filing the paperwork, I'm looking to kind of settle into an urban spot here and hopefully hold more consistent and regular ceremonies and provide a variety of mental, emotional, and physical well-being, from counseling to body work to breath work. I mean, all of it, is so relevant, needed, and necessary. And then in the long run, I see myself in a larger place, more rural, operating at more of a larger community level, where there will be community gardens, sweat lodges. Love to have it a place where there's communal showers and large sleeping accommodations for large groups. So I have a really big vision, and this is just the beginning. You are all really the initiation of me kind of coming out with this dream and this prophecy that is so close to my heart and is my purpose. And I'm so grateful that I know what my purpose is, and I'm so grateful for the team that is coming together and the beautiful people in my life that have helped me get to where I am today. Thank you all for supporting me and supporting the prophecy, and even just showing up and supporting yourself and what potentially you could do to also be a part of fulfilling the prophecy and finding balance in our minds and our hearts. So thank you so much.
Prayer?
I guess if anybody has any questions, I don't know. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Do you know if your church will just do Hopi and Wachuma, or like more than, like how big, how broad?
Yep, big. All the medicines. I would love to even have visiting practitioners come in and hold certain ceremonies coming from the south. I would love to have ayahuasca practitioners coming in from the south. No, absolutely. Psilocybin, Wachuma, peyote, Hape, all of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Andrea, how can people if people are like, oh, I'm interested, what would their next step be, timing, all that kind of stuff?
Yes, so actually I have a little QR code over here if you want to grab your phone, and it has a quick link to all the current offerings that I have coming up. And this Sunday, the 29th, is actually going to be the first offering for the church, and I'm calling it a talking circle. So I'm just starting super simple. I just want people to start coming out and start talking about non-ordinary experiences. What does spirit mean to you? And I'll be guiding these, and for now, just talk circles. I just want people to start coming together as a collective and start creating this collective conversation. You know, I want to bring in philosophies around such like as Don Juan's teachings, Carlos Castaneda, Don Juan Miguel Ruiz, the 4 agreements, and the 5th one from his son, right? So these are ideas and philosophies that I just want to keep introducing into the community as it keeps growing. And eventually these will start turning into kind of classes and series, workshops that as people, maybe committees will start forming over time to start generating regular Hape circles for beginners, you know, or intermediate Hape serving. You want to learn how to Hape serve, well, that would be part of going through an initiation, a medicine initiation. So there would be certain mile markers that you would have to meet to be an initiate to start serving any type of plant medicine through my institution.
Thank you so much. It's so exciting. My question is, in your experience, what has worked for you, like practical steps for bridging your mind and your heart?
Yes, thank you. Actually, it brings me to, in my mind's eye, as I have been teasing apart with my dear friend and colleague, the 2 energies that I'm calling in to bring in the mind and the heart and that balance is actually a changing woman, also Ixchel from the South American tradition, with Coyote. And I'm bringing in Coyote. He's the trickster. He's our mind that likes to play tricks with us. So it's really about working with the trickster in the mind and working with ego to find balance in the mind, and using the medicine such as Changing Woman and Ixchel to open up the heart, so we can start recognizing how the ego is getting in the way of working through the heart. And these medicines are here to help us open up the heart and to see ego when it's showing up. Does that make sense? Okay.
I just want to make a comment. I just want to say that it's my view, and it always has been, that being of mixed descent makes you more than, not less than. So you need to turn that perspective on yourself, because
it's true, but that's my journey right in this life, was to find that out for myself and to empower myself in that way. Because when I was a little Indian girl living in Gallup, New Mexico, which is considered a border town and the highest level of alcoholism, where all my neighbors, kids in the playground, Indians are drunk, Indians are dumb, Indians are poor. I'm Indian. I must be drunk. I must be poor. Right? My grandfather's an alcoholic. What they're saying must be true. See, this is me internalizing what other people are saying around me. It's not because I actually had a choice in it.
Yeah.
Now I have a choice because I have the awareness that those things aren't true. I didn't even realize I was internalizing those stories. But that's because I needed help from my other brothers and sisters to reflect that to me, that story is not true. Yeah. Happy.
So I didn't know you're a member of the tribe Israel, like me. So, and I was just intrigued when you were talking about like that, how that connected you with getting into like your dream work. And I haven't heard of that like coming from Judaism. So like where did I just totally miss that?
It's definitely a part of their mysticism. It's a real big part of the mysticism, but it's part of what they keep secret because they still want to have control. They don't want you to know that you can access God directly straight through by yourself. I know, they still want to be the middleman. And that's okay. And it just happened to come through because my grandmother was a dreamer and she was trying to connect me and my brother to her dreams. But it wasn't until the medicine showed me recently that I was a dreamer, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, what does that mean? You know, now what does that mean? Like the other day, I sat in my own medicine ceremony a couple Saturdays ago, and usually I see beautiful sacred geometry, and it's where my visions usually come through. But this time, with my Hape, I had these beautiful Celtic knots come through, and I've never had anything Celtic come through, but I was like, that's my ancestry. That's part of my Anglo ancestry coming through that I've denied myself, even the other half of the coin. I've denied my Anglo ancestry, which means I've also denied a part of my own medicine and wisdom. And so connecting with my Jewish ancestry, even recently, I have felt some psychic attacks coming through with almost this Nazi type of energy. And that's specifically when I called on my Jewish ancestry. And I was just sharing with someone earlier today that it wasn't even so much about the fight back, the energy with my Jewish ancestry. It's more of the stoicism. It's more of this fighting with peace and with honor and with integrity. That's the fight. And that's what I call in through learning more recently about my Jewish ancestry too. Yeah, thank you, Abby. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close with a prayer. Everyone, just give me just a second to go ahead and put your feet back on Mother Earth. Just give our gratitude. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Father Sky. Thank you to the great Creator for this beautiful set and setting. Thank you for my brothers and sisters for their attention, their time, their effort, and their energy. Thank you for making space. Thank you to all my ancestors, all my loved ones, spirit guides, spirit animals. Thank you all for being here, keeping me protected and safe. And my prayer is to keep everyone safe on the travels home. May we continue to reflect on the messages this evening, not in our heads, but in our hearts. That's my prayers for my brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Andrea.
I just wanted to say huge thank you to Andrea. That was awesome. I really appreciate you sharing all of that, and I'm just continually awed by your willingness to live life by your own path, to figure it out, to really blaze it, and it's inspiring. It really is. So thank you for what you do for this community. You all don't know everything she does, but she does a lot. Cares a lot about it, and balances me well. I feel like we balance each other well, so that's always appreciated. And you know, someone I can call a friend, a medicine guide, someone I look up to, and really excited to see where this goes. So yeah, very cool, and I'm glad you all got to be a part of it. So yeah, thanks for sharing what you do. So not too many announcements. Just next Monday night we'll be back here. So hope to see you guys all back, and have a good night, everyone. Thanks.